how to upgrade, or how I went about upgrading my carpeted stairs. Let's get into it. I started by tearing out the old dirty carpet using a pair of pliers, a crowbar here and there, and just some good old-fashioned elbow grease. Then took up the underlayment and track boards and all of the staples holding everything in place. If you're a fan of DIYs of the woodworking variety, while I wrap up this demo, check out this recent chair build that I did that I'm super proud of. I think you'll like it. Once the MDF treads and risers were bare, I used a tape measure and square to measure and mark the distance of each tread overhang. Then, using a circular saw, I cut along this line to remove the old tread nosing. To complete the cut, I used a combination of a pool saw and reciprocating saw. Once the old stairs have been fully demoed, I measured the width of each tread before cutting the new pine treads down to size. I did the same for each riser. I measured and cut each set one at a time to ensure a good fit. Some risers encountered a subwall or other obstacle and required the skill saw as well. Once all the pieces were ready, it was time to stain the treads and finish them with a high-gloss polyurethane. Then paint the risers. To install them, I used liquid nails to place the pieces, then a finishing gun to anchor them all into place. Once the treads and risers were in, I needed to patch the newly exposed drywall holes. Then patch the slight marks left behind by the nail gun in both the risers and treads. With the patchwork and paint drying, I turned to tiling the landing. I started by cutting a piece of backer board down to size to fit comfortably on the landing. Then, using the back of the bag instructions, mix the thin set. Then spread the thin set across the landing using a trowel to both level and then score the mortar. With that done, I placed the backer board, then anchored it with backer board screws about every 8 inches roughly. Once that was dried, I applied another layer of thinset on top and began laying the tile sheets. While the thinset dried and set the tiles, I turned to the railing. I deinstalled this very basic 2000s home railing and began by cutting off the, I'll say it, poorly mitered corners. Then, using the table saw, trimmed the rounded edges. With the trim router, I applied a nice 45-degree bevel on every 90-degree corner. Then gave both pieces a finishing level sand down before applying the same black stain and polyurethane to match the stair treads. To reinstall the railing, I simply reaffixed the existing hardware exactly where it was, keeping it simple. With the thinset dry, it was time to apply the grout. I chose a dark gray, using a trowel to sweep it into the cracks, and then a combination of a sponge and rag to wipe the tiles clean. To finish off the landing after that, I applied some custom trim pieces. I could have found and fit some more tiles/tile caps, but this process using 1/4-inch plywood proved to be a cost-effective way to achieve a very similar aesthetic in my opinion. I gave the nosing of the landing a chamfer to soften the corner. Then turned to tidying up wall patches and paint lines. Lastly, I used a black caulk to fill the gaps between the tile and the landing trim. And that's a wrap.
Next time, we're back at the woodworking bench with these diffuse lighting And don't worry, they're battery powered. Until next time.